Hello, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Dominic, or D for short, 1E, and this is my place. It's a safe space I created to talk about life, real life, no filter, no judgment. So, let's jump right into this week's episode. Hello again, and welcome back to Dee's Place. It has been a very eventful week for me, but I hope it's been an awesome week for you. The last time we were together, I talked about the things I did that helped me to get to that point in my hurt to hope journey. And so in that conversation, I said I should probably talk about some of the things I didn't do. And lo and behold, that's what I'm going to talk about today. So the first thing I make sure not to do when getting over hurt, when going through breakup, going through loss, healing, anything like that, going through a down period, failure, any of that. I don't go through my contact list to find somebody that I can be with so I don't feel alone or sad or so I don't feel so by myself. And when I say I don't go through my contact list to find somebody, I mean somebody of the opposite sex. So let's be honest, because we're all adults, I hope. It is so easy to go through your phone and try to figure out who can I call to spend the night with so I don't have to be by myself today, or I don't have to feel this way, or I can just ignore it or pretend like it doesn't exist. Help me get my mind off things. It is so easy to make that call. And I make sure I don't do that for several reasons. One, it's unfair to that person. And of course, you know, I don't like unfair, but it really is a disservice to them, and it really is unfair to them. So that's one reason. A bigger reason, it doesn't really help you at all. It may mask the issue, but it doesn't make it go away. It really just delays the healing process, and it delays the getting over it process. So I won't say I didn't go through my phone looking for people I could call. I did do that. I just made sure not to make the calls that would put me in compromising positions, because I knew on the back end of that, it's so much worse than just going through the process and healing from it and making sure I'm making good decisions while I'm healing from it. Another big thing I didn't do, I didn't only allow myself to think about the good times. The mind is tricky like that, right? When we've gone through something and now we're on the other end of that, all we see is all the good that we just lost. And we play all the good back that we just lost. And so then we get ourselves into a situation where we want to go back to that because all we can see is the good we just lost. And I've done this. I've asked God, like, you know, where else am I going to find somebody who is this good at XYZ and knows me and does this and does that? I know God was sitting in heaven like, really? Really, chick? Like, so I got all power and you asking me where else are you going to meet somebody who can do this stuff? I've done that. But it's not beneficial for you because it's one-sided. So in this situation, I made sure when I was cataloging all of the good stuff that happened and all the stuff I would miss, I made sure to also look at the stuff that didn't work out well and to catalog all the hurt I felt in the relationship. Forget the hurt after the relationship, the hurt in the relationship. And that helped me tremendously because the bottom line was you're better off. And yes, it may hurt, and it may have hurt to have to deal with what you've dealt with, and it may have hurt to understand how everything unfolded, and it may have hurt to know how you were treated. But still, bottom line, you're better off. And in looking at the whole picture, what happened is exactly what needed to happen. Probably should have happened sooner. Looking at some other things I didn't do, I did not make what wasn't my fault my fault. So a lot of times we have a tendency to blame ourselves for things that go wrong, or, you know, say it's something that I could have done better. I could have done this. I could have done that. And sometimes that's not really our fault. If it wasn't my fault, if it wasn't something I did or I contributed to, then it wasn't my fault and I didn't make it my fault. Therefore, I didn't beat myself up for stuff that wasn't me and wasn't mine. I owned up to what I did that I shouldn't have done, and I worked through, okay, make sure you don't do this, or this is what it looks like when you start going down that path. So don't do that. Another thing I don't do, I definitely don't keep the pictures that we took during a relationship, or the messages, the little cute messages, or the nicknames, or that's probably one of the first things to go. I will burn pictures, cut pictures, throw them in the trash. Those pictures kind of feed into looking at all the positive times and all the good times, right? How often do we take pictures of the bad days? When you're crying your eyes out because you can't believe she treated you this way, I'm pretty sure you didn't take a picture of that. So we don't really have pictures of the bad days, which means all the pictures are going to be reminders of all the good things, which just help us only remember the good things and want to go back. Some things we don't really need to go back to. I let those memories go. They were what they were. Okay, I got it. It didn't work. Move on. And so that helps with not having to flip through my phone and see the pictures. And then, of course, when you're over it, when you're really over it, the pictures won't matter much. But for me, they don't exist anymore anyway, so it really doesn't matter. There are other ways to tell when you're really over it. So that's something else I don't do. I also don't make them out to be the bad guy. And I say them because this, I mean, it applies to friends and in a relationship or not in a relationship. People have gone through things in life that make them who they are, and how they deal with that and how they internalize that and how they spring back from that or come back from that may vary. And so just because they've gone through life and maybe they haven't handled it the best, or maybe they haven't gotten over it, and because of that they're lashing out at me, I still don't make them out to be a bad person. So it is what it is, and that's one of my sayings. It is what it is, because that's really all. Because that's what it is. And so I accept that people deal with things differently, and sometimes they don't deal with them the best. And that doesn't mean they're a bad person. That just means they probably haven't made the best decisions, or they haven't gone through the process that they need to go through so that they don't continue to hurt people. So I don't make them the bad guy. That's also how I remain friends with a lot of people that I've either dated or been in a relationship with, or wanted to be in a relationship with, or tried or thought or began and didn't work out. It's that I realized that, it's people. And so you may not have dealt with this the way I would have, but still, that doesn't make you a bad person. Maybe you should, deal with this, or maybe you want to talk about it, and that's fine. So I don't have to lose a friendship because you didn't handle something the way I think I would have handled it. If it becomes toxic, or if I see that it is becoming toxic, or if it's affecting me negatively, then I won't make them out to be the bad guy, but I'll just let them make it, which means make it over there. And I do have friends that I say, you know what, I'm gonna just let you make it, which means I'm not gonna deal with you. I'm not gonna let I'm not going to let what you have going on and can't control affect me, because I need to be able to, I don't want to perpetuate that cycle by allowing what's hurting you to hurt me, and now I'm hurting somebody else. No, it has to stop somewhere. So if I see that that's where it's going, then I will stop that. Another, and probably the final thing that I didn't do, and is that I didn't force myself to maintain the friendship. And I say, and I've said, I'm friends with 75 to 80% of the people I've ever dated. I like to keep friendships, and I like friends. I like people. And because I like to keep friendships, and if I can, I will. But I didn't make it mandatory. For this situation, I didn't force it, and I didn't make that a requirement of mine. And a lot of what I think kept me in, or a lot of what keeps the thought coming up is actually, are you going to maintain the friendship? Because if I decide I'm going to maintain the friendship, then I have to decide that I'm going to be able to trust this person again, and I'm going to have to be open with this person and not be surface, right? There are certain things that I can tell everybody. You know, if it's something that's happened in my life, typically, you walk up to me, perfect stranger, I can tell you, it doesn't matter. It's life. It's happened. So, you know, there's nothing else that I can do about it, but it exists. What I really feel, what I really care about, it takes somebody I know and trust to get those things out of me. And so I have to decide that if I'm going to be friends with this person based on what I know now, can I really do that? And even though it's something I treasure, I'm not forcing that upon myself. So the way I look at it is I ask myself, you know, why can't you just, you know, get over it and ignore it? Which is another thing I did not do. I did not pretend I wasn't hurting. I did not try to ignore how I was feeling. I did not stop myself from crying. I did not try to put on a show and make it seem like I was someone I wasn't. I tried to make sure I allowed myself to be who I was, to feel what I was feeling, to go through it and accept it. And so many times we try to cover that up because we don't really want people to know how we're feeling and what's going on or what's bothering us or that we're hurt. And it does everybody a disservice. That doesn't do anybody any good. You can't heal from that. I can't heal from that, from being fake. It's just fake. I'm not good at being fake. I am good at fake hair, but I'm not good at being fake. But I did look at, you know, why is it that I can't just pretend like it never happened? And it's because now I know. And so now I would have to put forth effort to pretend I don't know these things and still give and be 100% in a friendship. And friendships and relationships with people, I have to be with people I trust when it comes to being that close to me, when it comes to being friends and real friends. And so if I'm not around people I can trust, then I'm probably just not gonna, you know, I'm not in it. I didn't force myself into a friendship that I could not be 100% in, which is also why I'm going through from hurt to hope, because I don't want to end up in a relationship that I can't be 100% in because I haven't dealt with hurt. So those are some of the things I didn't do after the breakup, just to help me to make sure I am healing completely and getting over the hurt and getting to hope. Again, thank you for stopping by. See you next week, same time, same place, Dee's Place. It's a safe space. Talk to you soon.